Wait.
Night stroke.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Last Night Productions. I'm your host, Carlos. With me today, I got Samantha, Christian, Ian, and Chris. And we are reviewing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring
No
balance
money,
to the
no
force.
parts, no
You
deal.
believe it's this boy?
He can see things before they happen.
He can help you.
The Force is unusually strong with him.
He was meant to help
Unusually
you.
strong.
Anakin!
A lot of unusual
Tell him to take off!
There's a
I
lot of
ever see you
unusual,
again?
unusual
What was
amount
hard to
of
tell
body.
you?
Are you sure about this? Trusting our fate to a boy we hardly know?
Anakin Skywalker, meet Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I sense much fear in
It's a
you.
sand planet.
The way is
There's
dangerous.
gonna be some
They
sand
all
people.
sense it. Why can't you?
I don't want him here. I don't want
Fear
him
is the
forward.
path
I
of
don't
the
want him
dark
thinking
They
side.
probably feel,
about
they probably feel
Fear
this
leads
that
to
way about
anger.
it.
Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
Oh, good catch.
Good catch, Sam. We are talking about Phantom
Can you
Menace.
imagine if we just did it all muted?
That'd be
Man,
funny.
how embarrassing. Boy.
Yesterday was May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. And today is, do we just
Revenge
call
of
it
the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th?
Yeah.
So, of course, we got to talk about a Star Wars movie. What better than the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace? Anybody, can you guys give me a summary of the Phantom Menace? We need a short summary. What's this movie about?
No, I'm not giving you a summary. My he called me yesterday, and he FaceTimed me, and I'm all dressed in the Jedi outfit for my show, and he was like, "Fucking white people always steal on our holiday."
Oh my God.
Wait, what?
Because it's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, I see. You thought like your rose were Cinco de Mayo related?
No, because I told him I was doing the show. We're doing May the 4th be with you. He's like, "Damn, white people
So
always
it
steal
takes
on our
away. It
holidays."
takes away from Cinco de Mayo. I see.
Anyway.
Gotcha. Yeah, we are doing this on Cinco de Mayo.
Phantom Menace is about two Jedi who are going to solve a trade dispute involving Naboo and the Trade Federation. When suddenly things go awry, the Trade Federation turns on them, tries to kill them. They then have to save Naboo from the evil Trade Federation and the Phantom Menace, who is behind everything. We also see Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We meet Anakin Skywalker for the first time as a child and learn his origin story. We're pod racing. We're doing space battles, lightsaber battles. It's the whole package, everybody. 25 years later, though, can I get an opinion on this movie? Ian, let's start with you.
My opinion on this movie.
On Star Wars, The Phantom Menace.
I don't really like it. It's cool. I don't know. There's some cool things about it, but overall, I think it's a pretty shitty movie. That's my opinion.
And this is
what
like
makes it shitty.
Jeez. I think the story's shitty. I think a lot of the acting's shitty. What else is
Jar
shitty?
Jar Jar
Yeah,
Binks?
Jar Jar Binks is shitty. Trying to think what else is shitty. I mean, I guess that sums it up of the shittiness of this movie. There's some good things, but overall, I think it's a pretty shitty movie.
we were talking a little bit yesterday about the context of it. Like, it's how many years after the original 3 films he decides to go back?
16.
Yeah, 16 years later, he decides to go
That's
back and do a prequel.
You
It seems
kinda-
like a lot longer.
I know, especially
Yeah.
the way people are acting. Yeah,
Mhm.
people are camping out. We were just watching all.
How many years was it from them to the
It was
newer
it was
trilogy?
like a decade. I want to right 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
less. And that was a big deal. Of course. I think the Phantom Menace was a lot more hype from what I
When
don't
did-
remember a whole lot, but I remember it just the hype, even as a 4-year-old, being like, "This is
The first
big
one
deal.
came out in the late 70s or
Yeah.
early 80s? Late 70s.
late 70s,
78,
77,
7.
76." Whoa.
Yeah, so this is his big follow up.
I think it's just it doesn't flow well with the original trilogy at all. I think it's just it doesn't aesthetically. It just does not. It doesn't really. A lot of this does not feel like Star Wars, like the
Oh,
original
interesting.
trilogy.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that like when they were coming out with these, I remember hearing them saying that the reason why he did the other three before these, going back, is because the other three were obviously after the fall.
The Fall of the Jedi.
Yeah, and that he purposefully did those first so he can wait for technology to get better so that he can do
Oh,
these
interesting.
I've
movies.
heard that as well. I don't really buy that personally. Who's Jinx?
Yeah.
Is that Shen?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to say her government name? Am I supposed to refer to her as Jinx?
Oh, we got special guest Jinx on the line with us today. Talk about Phantom Menace.
So, like, Ian, you're a fucking idiot. How dare you speak about this movie like that? I don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. I'm sorry. I do have some good things to say, but overall, so much. But there's a few good things.
What about you, Shannon? Do you like Phantom Menace?
Yes, I like all of them. There was nothing that was more exciting to me when I was younger. When my favorite character out of the original trilogy was Vader, and then getting the prequels and getting to find out how he became, Vader. I was like, oh, dude, I was so excited for that. So excited.
Would you say you were more hyped for this than when they came back with the sequel trilogy?
You mean the Rey ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was super excited, and then they I don't know, they Disney-fied it a little bit, for lack of a better way, but
They did.
I still really, really like them.
I like The Force Awakens. I still like issues, but I still think it's a good movie.
I thought it had a lot of potential.
Well,
there's a lot of comedy lines that, some that was meant to be some slapstick, some Disney jokes.
Yeah, that was the thing. I think they really tried to Marvel humor it. I remember when we saw it, Jason went online and he was like, yeah, everyone's saying there's so much Marvel humor in it. And there is. Watching it back specifically, there's a lot of that Marvel humor. But overall, I think it still is I think that movie feels more like Star Wars to me than really any of the prequels. That's what I take from it. But
yeah, well, I think so I did my paper on the whole prophecy and Star Wars and all that, but so being able to dissect the whole balance and being able to go back and watch the decision that Vader makes in the episode 6, right, when he makes that, and then going back and watching those 3, and then that's why I like watching it when I do like the machete order. I watch 4, 5, and then watch 1, 2, 3, and then 6. It helps.
Would you call it the machete order? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. That's just what it's called.
Okay.
No clue. That's just, yeah. So yeah, you watch 4, 5, and you get the bomb that, spoiler alert, he's, the father.
Right.
And then you go back and you watch 1, 2, and 3 to catch up with that personal thing, and then you watch 6, and there's you're more emotionally involved in it.
Okay. That's kind of fun.
Which I thought was really cool. So I think it was, like you were saying, it's less Star Warsy. It's more of a origin story kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I what helped me overlook some of the newer 3 is that they did a really good job of trying to appeal to adults, the old fans, and the younger generation. Yeah. Trying to meld that all into one and to get everybody interested. So I was like, I could see it. Some of this isn't for me, That's
Right.
okay.
Yeah. I think that might be one thing. As I've gotten older, I've had a lot of problems with the Phantom Menace because I think they really, really went in deep with just the like children's aspect, which is so bizarre because the plot is so not kid friendly.
Yeah,
it's
all
not kid
politics.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. It's so that's another thing that's really like I find this movie so strange is they just marketed the shit out of this movie with toys, Jar Jar Binks, just like making Anakin a kid. It's like they really wanted the kid market, and then they make this boring ass movie about politics and chancellors and viceroys and trade negotiations and blockades. It's a odd mishmash.
Yeah,
A very odd, jarring mishmash to me. Obviously, to me, I'm the one saying, but yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just, and in a way, I do find that fascinating. I do find this movie fascinating for that. There's a lot of interesting things about this movie. We were watching all the hype surrounding it. It was probably the most hyped movie within the. I mean, maybe I don't know, maybe ever. I mean, can you remember? I mean, when's the last maybe the Avengers movies? I guess were pretty hyped.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah, that was kind of hyped.
Oh, Barbenheimer.
I remember that being like.
Did you see
everything?
So you saw it? Did you see it in the theater?
I didn't see it in theater.
Wow,
but
okay. Shannon, you saw it. I think you saw it in the theater, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You saw it in the theater, and I'm sure saw it.
I remember it being on the news. I remember
Yep.
being commercial for everything about it.
Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Taco Bell
everything.
pie, yeah.
Everything had
Yep.
commercials. Everything was tied to it. It was just like the biggest thing to come out. The news, people waiting in line, people dressing up, people doing all this. I did get the Nintendo 64 edition that came with the pod racing.
It was
game.
like a Nintendo 64 Phantom Menace theme.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And that was like my only knowledge of
The Phantom Menace.
that movie. Like I played that game before I even saw the movie.
Which game?
For how long.
Which game was it?
It was the pod racing game.
Okay, gotcha.
Which
Yeah,
that
it's a
game
fun
was
game.
fucking so
Yeah,
cool,
yeah, it's
dude.
a fun game. Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a huge. I remember it being a huge deal.
Yeah, it was. It was very big.
Do you like the movie, Chris?
I like it. I like it. Yeah, I like all the movies.
All the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Nice. You like the holidays?
You're welcome.
So I don't know. What's the holiday special one? I like
You would know the same thing.
No,
I haven't dug into. I think I watched a little bit of like that Mandalorian was good. A couple of those series, but I haven't dug into like the other side stuff.
That's
like
one of my
cartoons and
problems with
stuff.
Disney is I think they've kind of oversaturated it, and I think they put
milked
out
the cow.
they put out too much. It's such a little time.
So
Make it
Mandalorian
skinny.
was good, and then I could not get into what is his Boba?
Both Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett. I couldn't-
Yeah.
That fucking was
That-
so boring. And all of a sudden, Mando came back, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is cool again."
Well, Boba Fett is such a bizarre show because they like 2 episodes are just like Mandalorian.
Yeah,
It's really,
it's a
it's just like
Mandalorian
why'd you do like? Couldn't you have just put Boba Fett? Well, Boba Fett was kind of in Mandalorian, right? They kind of hinted at him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Why
he
didn't
comes
you-
back to
Yeah, why
Mandalorian.
didn't you just like put Boba Fett in Mandalorian and you just have your cake and eat it too? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hella want to watch the Obi-Wan, which
That
I know
was
you.
good.
Yeah,
Skip it.
these guys kept telling me to skip it.
I did not like it at all.
I liked
There
it.
was
so
a
much
few.
of
There was a
Obi-Wan.
few. There was like one scene I thought was interesting, and other than that, oh boy.
That's when I
need to
finally
watch it.
cracked and I said, "Oh no, I don't like Star Wars anymore."
I remember I was at like an A's game with Matt, and I rushed home so we could watch the final episode with you guys. Do you remember that?
Of
We watched
Obi-Wan?
it- We watched it like late at night
Oh really?
when it aired. It might have been because they aired it at midnight, and I was just getting home from the A's game, and we streamed it, and we were all like, "What the fuck, like, God!" And I already knew like from the get go. I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably not gonna like this," and then it came on, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't like this."
So do you like him as Obi-Wan in the movie?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah, I love
Ewan
McGregor.
Well, actually, in this movie, he's very stiff and odd.
That's true.
He's young.
very-
He's young
Yeah, he is
actor
young.
too, right?
And he was great. I mean, he is a great actor.
He's
I
train
think
spotting.
That's what George Lucas saw Train Spotting, and that's what I think got him the role.
Whoa.
He was always like
Yeah.
that. A lot of people like Steven Spielberg saw Swingers, and he put Vince Vaughn in the second Jurassic Park movie.
Whoa.
Like, they were very like that. Like, we need to get the next hot something. He wanted David Lynch to direct Return of the, it was that kind of person. Just wants the next best
David
thing.
Lynch. Interesting.
Yeah, David Cronenberg too, apparently. But
Hmm.
Yeah, I've always thought he was just very stiff and odd. He got better as the movies went along, and I don't blame that on him. It was most likely George Lucas's direction, because a lot of people have said he's not really an actor's director, for lack of a better phrase.
Yeah.
And the writing. Also.
Yeah, and he's not really that great of a writer as well. I mean, that's the funny thing. A lot of people point out, you know, he didn't direct Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and he didn't really fully write both of them. I don't think he wrote the screenplay for either. I could be wrong, but
Christian, do you like Phantom Menace?
Not nowadays. No, it was the first Star Wars movie I watched ever as a kid. When I saw it when I was like 4. My dad took me. I liked it for a while, and then I watched it again as a teenager, and I was like, oh, yikes.
you think anything with me? Like, do you think I brainwashed you into not liking the Phantom Menace?
Maybe.
I did.
No,
Apologize.
I just got older and, you know, revisited them, the prequels, and I was like, I am not a child anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. They're very nostalgic for me.
Yeah,
like they're like you know, there's things I like about them. I like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
A lot of the designs for the like the droidicas, those are cool.
I remember, sorry to cut you off, but I remember my first ever real like interaction with you that I recall. You have Plo Koon at your desk. And I remember going up to you and just being like, yeah, that's really cool. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I can't stand those fucking movies, but I do like the Jedi design a lot. Like Kiadi Mundi is really cool with the large head.
Yeah.
You know, like there is things going for these movies for sure, and I think a lot of it is like the concept design, and whatnot.
Yeah. The characters are so fun, especially even in the original trilogy. There's some of the pig people, Jabba the Hutt,
right?
Rancors.
That's why I think a lot of people, you know, it struck a nerve with so many people, is because, you know, all that
merchandising.
Yeah, exactly.
Money.
Samantha, do you like the Phantom Menace?
I watched all the movies like 3 years ago, once through, so I'm just here to listen.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
You don't remember anything about it? It's understandable.
Just him doing the racing, and then the droids war in the end, I guess.
The ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
What's wrong with your face? Yeah, that was one thing we always watched too, the Red Letter Media kind of dissection of this movie.
Yeah.
I think that kind of, a lot of people nowadays kind of like look down on that, and it's like, no, they're just being harsh and this and that. It's not a good critique. I've always thought they pointed out like a decent amount of, you know, things that kind of were flawed about this movie. You can do that with anything, I'm sure. But I always, and you know, he did the Plinkett voice. It was just so fun, you know. Yeah, Star Wars Episode 1, the family, like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this movie kind of did a 180. Like when it came out, I feel like overall it was pretty. I mean, it made a shitload of money, and I think it was generally well liked. And then as the years went on, not liked, and then I think it again took another 180, and like I feel like now it's generally well liked.
All the kids are growing up now.
Yeah,
we
all of our
are
generation.
Wasn't all the focus on fucking Jar Jar Binks?
I was gonna say
Big one. Yeah, that's a big one.
Everybody hated the movie because of Jar Jar Binks, and they loved the movie because of Jar Jar.
You ever
Binks.
seen this?
You mean Finn? Sorry.
What'd you say?
It's making a bad joke. They call Finn in the new ones like he's the new Jar Jar.
What?
He's not even that annoying.
Yeah,
it's the doo-doo, like jokes that they have him do.
Okay.
All that, yeah.
I always liked, and I know like that was the shitty thing about the new movies. They got really racial, like the fans, like with the one chick, what's her name, Rose. Yeah. Everyone got real racial with that shit. It's like, come on, Star Wars fans, stop making all the other Star Wars fans look bad by all this racism.
Yeah.
Then, George Lucas said that he made the center, like he wanted the story to revolve around Jar Jar Binks in an interview or something.
Really?
Yeah.
He said he was like the main.
He's the key. He's the key. Jar Jar's the key to all this. We say that all the time.
Yeah.
He's a funnier character.
Yeah.
All of our merchandise is Jar Jar. The Jar Jar lollipop.
He's a funnier.
Didn't the guy who acted as him like wanted to like commit suicide and shit?
Yeah, that's
because of all the threats?
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's so sad.
It is sad.
I think he shows up in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, they made him a Jedi or something. Which is
Oh
cool.
yeah, they try
That's
to
cool.
bring him back.
It's nice.
It's not.
Because I haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure it's not Jar Jar. It is
It's him.
It's a
He's a
Gungan.
Jedi or something, right?
Well,
It's
they
just
gave him. They gave him a role to do besides Jar Jar,
right?
To
Yeah,
kind of because he was getting so hateful.
Oh.
I felt bad.
They were
Which
like,
they
"Here,
should
be a
feel bad.
Jedi now,"
Lucasfilm should feel bad about all
so
that
people
shit.
wouldn't hate him. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, apparently his character should like save Baby Yoda from the,
really?
the Jedi massacre.
I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I don't know why you'd hate on him though. It's
I know
George
it's
Lucas's
not,
idea.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
That's the flaw. It's like he can't. The same thing with Rose. It's like it's not her fault that she was a shitty character. You know.
I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
imagine he
Yeah.
looks
Actor.
like Jar Jar Binks out of costume.
He's right there.
He kind of does.
Not really. I mean, not really. He's not
Ahmed
orange.
Best.
Average looking guy.
Yeah.
If I met him, I never would know he's Jar Jar Binks.
No.
Yeah, no.
Hey, weather's nice.
And Anna, the young Annie got a bunch of hate too, right?
Yeah.
But I
Billy-
think
Billy
his
Corgan.
mom
I
didn't
swear
let
to
him
God,
see any of it.
If they ever make a biopic on Billy Corgan, they gotta get him.
Billy Corgan.
The Smash.
Oh,
Smashing
yeah, I
Pumpkins
can
thing.
see it. Shave his
Jake
head.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
I think the resurgence in the popularity of the movies, like when you watch it through one time and you're like, oh, that's crappy, I'm not gonna watch it again. But like watching through, I'm a like lore info junkie. Like if there's more information and backstory I can get, like I'm gonna suck it all up.
Yeah.
But going through the entire series from beginning to end, watching everything, and then going back and rewatching it, knowing certain details and stuff that happened, like I started noticing and picking apart like different stuff that I never noticed before.
Yeah.
Like knowing how Palpatine was manipulating Rey
Both
and
sides.
right with like getting in their heads and connecting them with all his like stuff or whatever. So then you go back to these ones. So here you notice as soon as Anakin gets off the thing, Palpatine is like on him. He said, "Oh, hey,
Oh, watch
you know,
out
I'm gonna
for
expect,
Thank
yeah,
you.
like I'm gonna watch for you." Like you see it, and then the next one you hear how he's already having dreams about seeing his mom, about all this stuff, and so those are him. You can tell that that's like Palpatine
really?
starting to plant more little seeds of pushing him
Interesting.
into that.
Is that implied in the movies though?
So I noticed something this time watching it too. I like how like he kind of subtly like wants Anakin, like when he knows that Anakin is Obi-Wan's apprentice, so he requests Obi-Wan to watch over Padme.
Oh.
Because he knows Anakin's gonna be with her, and then like he knows that that's gonna spark the whole thing. Do you think he like is that like a part of a Sith? Like you can bring the dead back, but you think they can see the future or know how things are gonna play out? That because it seems like he's setting that up from the get. Like, hey, I know that these two are gonna fall in love, have kids. It's gonna spark the whole thing to turn him to the dark side. And it seems like he plants that right off the bat. Like, hey, I want can I request Obi-Wan to watch over Padme? Knowing that.
Yeah. So that's a big possibility. So again, I'm info junkie. The prophecy was stated like way back in the High Republic time. Like it's a really old prophecy. And it started getting with the quote unquote like removal of the Sith, right? The Jedi went all this time thinking the Sith was gone, blah blah blah. But Darth Raven and Darth, oh God, what was the other one? Bane.
Malik,
the wise
Malik was Revan's master.
Yeah. Is it Bane? But so they're the ones that started this whole like growing, the Sith growing in the background and like cultivating this whole thing that culminated in Palpatine being able to do what he did and getting everybody around. So they've had a hold of this prophecy and they've been like their own interpretation of it, and then the Jedi's interpretation of it. But yeah, so it's a good possibility that they've had their eye on everything going on, and then him popping up, and it just kind of checked off all the boxes.
Wait, was it Darth Plagueis? It's a story
No.
that I wouldn't tell you.
No. So that's just the story. So Plagueis was Palpatine's master. And so that was the whole him being immortal thing.
I think that's what this new show is going to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Acolyte. So that's High Republic
Acolyte.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They haven't said anything. I mean, they're not going to say, they're trying to like keep it under wraps, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like it's going to be like a Plagueis thing.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's one of the older Siths. Yeah, because you'd see it. It's in the trailer. It has the reveal of like the helmet and the. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, there's in that new one.
Yeah, because they just came out, like not recent, but recent enough, a new book series set in the High Republic time.
Oh, wow.
That's
I'm
all
glad
they
they're going back to at least the High Republic. I wish they'd go to the Old Republic, but that's a nice step in the right direction, in my opinion, because it has nothing to do with like
really
the.
cool.
I mean, it has a lot to do about like Jedi. Obviously, it's like the height of the Jedi and all that shit. But it's not like Empire versus Rebellion. It has nothing to do with the Skywalkers or anything. So I think that'll be nice.
Have any of you guys watched Andor?
Yeah.
I think we've all watched that.
I haven't watched it.
Oh,
it's probably
Yeah,
the best series.
Because my favorite thing about Star Wars is the Jedi, and so. But I have a group of friends that my D&D friends. They like the show because of its lack of Jedi.
Yeah, I can see that being attractive to certain people.
Yeah, they're like, they were like Jedi'd out, and so they watched the show and was like, dude, this was like really nice.
I did find it kind of like this movie. I did find a lot of it very boring, but it is a good show. It's very well done, but a lot of it, I was just like, oh boy, this is not captivating at all. But at the same time, I mean, I can't deny that it was a good, well-made show. I just found it fine. I mean, that's the problem I have with like Rogue One. A lot of it is just like there's not, and with this movie too, actually, there's not a lot of stakes because you know kind of what's going to happen. That's kind of an issue I have with a lot of prequels. Sometimes you can do a good prequel. Actually, a lot of the time you can do a good prequel. But the problem with prequels is a lot of the time Obi-Wan's not going to die.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like at the end, like when he's hanging off the thing and Darth Maul's spraying sparks, he's gonna get out of it.
Yeah, that is a big issue with a lot of prequels.
Yeah,
I still feels like maybe it does kind of build a little bit of like tension, like but yeah, anytime they have something that goes before, you're like, well, obviously he's still alive.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I think that's one of it was kind of strange as to like, why did you go? To me, so if I were alive when this was announced that he was making these like 30 years, like early 90s. And I would have been, if I were alive at that point, I would have been like, why are you going back? I would prefer, continue with Luke and Han and Leia, the character, especially, I mean, now it's like, it is a missed opportunity because, I mean, they all like Carrie Fisher died while making the trilogy, the new ones.
Yep.
And I don't think all three of them shares a scene together.
They're never in the same room together at all.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And,
on Leia,
like, why didn't you do that when they were still, alive and young and this and that? But, and at the same time, also, it's just like, why are we kind of going back? And I think it was a big flaw to make Anakin, like, how old is he, 9 or something?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't want to see him as a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Yip, yippee! It's and again, we don't all know why they did it. It's to sell toys, which they did. I had all these fucking toys. That's the thing, dude. I feel like I had these toys like a year before the movie came out. Like they were pumping this shit out like right away.
When was Midnight Madness? Was it before the film came out?
Like the midnight premiere? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that's when all the toys got released and everybody bum rushed the stores.
Oh, man.
I have no idea. And that's so silly too. It's like, they're not going to sell all these fucking things. Like, come on.
May 3rd.
No.
99?
99?
Yeah.
No, really?
Yeah.
When did
Well, because episode 1 came out in 99.
I swear I had all these fucking toys like months before the movie came out. Are you serious? That's not true. They could not have released the toys like 2 weeks before the movie came out.
Huh. Maybe you had like bootleg Chinese copies of the toys.
No, I mean, maybe I did. Yeah, my family went and got me the.
No, because the movie came out in 99.
Yeah, I don't buy that though. They had these fucking toys for like, it seemed like months. I mean, I was a child, but still, it seemed like months and months they had these fucking
Hey, how
toys.
long was the movie in theater for? I remember it being around for quite a while
probably a
Yeah,
year.
Yeah.
It was around. I remember because that was the thing I was telling you guys. Like, you know, I've seen it at least probably 5 times in the theater
Mhm.
because they brought it back. We saw it in high school, and when it came out, I saw it at least 2 or 3 times.
Was that like the 10-year anniversary? Probably.
No, it was like I don't know why they didn't. They were
In high
they
school,
had
too?
this thing where they were gonna do all of them again in 3D, but it
Yeah.
didn't. I guess it didn't make money because they never did any more of them.
Yeah,
hmm.
It was
they were
in
gonna
3D.
do Attack of the Clones and
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. They didn't do either of those.
Well, they were gonna do. I thought all 6, right? Were
I
they
don't
gonna
know.
do that? Well,
Right,
regardless,
probably. But,
it seemed like they were gonna do, and they only did Phantom Menace.
yeah.
But
You
Yeah.
guys know so much lore about these movies, and I'm still trying to figure out whose kids is whose. And
What do you mean?
I envy that.
Uh,
I really envy
Padme
that.
and Anakin have Luke and Leia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Leia has Rey. Is that her kid?
No.
No, she had,
Rey's just-
Adam
yeah.
Driver's her kid.
Yeah.
It's like-
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Poor
yeah,
kid.
okay.
Yeah.
Rey's just like another.
Ray was a Palpatine.
Yeah,
I guess.
Granddaughter.
Right. Yeah. That was the thing too. It's like, when the fuck did Palpatine ever get laid?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I get, yeah. Screw it.
Once more, the Sith shall rule the pussy.
That's the
Like that.
problem. That's kind of, I feel like, a problem too with Star Wars. Like, they just felt like everyone has to be related. I remember everyone thinking like, oh, she's a Kenobi. It's like everyone has to be related, and they kind of got rid of that with Last Jedi. And they're like, oh, maybe that's not what fans want. Oh, let's make her Palpatine. That'll throw people off.
It's like the royal family.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they with Rise of Skywalker, the fans' response to the Last Jedi, they just went and like.
That's why they brought back Palpatine. It's like, hey, Palpatine.
Yeah.
Bring back a familiar face, which
That's why they brought back Luke in a ghost form, and
they brought back Han in a ghost form too. Remember he talked to Kylo Ren on like the water ship, like the ships in the water or something. He talks to him.
Yeah,
I like
Luke
that.
drinks some
Terms.
milk.
Yeah,
I like how
boy,
the
CJ
green
put
milk.
me in Ghost
the green
form.
milk, right? Yeah, green milk. Yeah, it's not blue this time. It's green.
Milk's the
It's the green.
water thing.
Yeah.
I showed Sam all 9 of the movies, like she said, like a couple years ago. That's a fucking slog. God damn, is it a slog? The first 3 are awesome. But yeah, watching the prequels, my rating did kind of go down. I was like,
Well, we didn't ask you. You like them, right? The prequels.
I just watched Phantom Menace again
Yeah,
yesterday
you saw
in
it the theater.
theaters.
Yeah.
The theater's a great way to experience movies. I
Well,
think it just raises them up.
We saw The Mummy
Yeah.
for its 25th, and that was really cool.
That was
Yeah, that was
fun.
awesome.
Yeah. Because watching it at home on Disney Plus, the 9 movies, I was like, okay,
Right.
it's fine.
Yeah.
But you get that surround system going, you
It's
get
the
the
way movies are
popcorn
meant to be
going.
seen,
It's fun.
Yeah.
And this movie, watching it in theaters, it was a lot of fun.
Right.
I watched it in 40x with my dad, so the chairs were shaking and shit, and just it's a different way to experience it for sure.
Yeah.
Like the pod racing, my
You said
hair's like flopping all over.
No, that's funny. Headbanging.
You said that a couple sitting next to you fell asleep, right?
They're just like
in the-
in the motion. See,
I mean, this movie, yeah, there's parts of this movie that will definitely put you to sleep.
yeah,
How'd your back do after this one?
it was a little sore. My head kept going forward and then whipping back a bunch, so I had like a little concussion back
Oh,
of my
wow,
head.
I got whiplash.
Is it
I
that
like that
intense?
maniac.
Yeah.
Whiplash. That's why I stopped
Weird.
going to them. I did not like it.
I haven't been to one yet.
It just threw me
Like
off.
a Universal Studio ride is like a couple minutes, but you're in that for
Yeah,
2 hours.
yeah.
Like, oh my
It's
god.
too much. Yeah.
I think I've only done it twice, and
Oh
it was
my
like
God.
Chris's first review. We reviewed Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. That was the first time I did the 40x. That shit. I think I told Chris then, I was like, I'm never doing that again. And for some reason, I want to do
Pulled you
Phantom
back
Menace.
in, just
They
when you
pulled
thought
me
you were
back
out.
in.
He pulled you back in.
I'm never doing it
He
again.
strapped you back in.
It was
the
last
seat.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think it's one of my favorite ones of the prequels
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I think.
Was
it?
Phantom Menace is your favorite out of those 3?
Yeah.
So okay, so I think it was like last night or something. I think you said that, and I was like, yeah. And someone was like, "What? You like that makes sense to you?" I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, they all there's like a kind of for a long time there was a general consensus that the third one was the best. I think it's just as shitty as the first two.
Really? I like the third one the best.
Everyone, a lot of people do, but I don't. I think it's just as
I
problematic.
think the
as
second
first
one's
two.
the shittiest.
I think that's the worst Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
Anakin in that
well,
movie.
there's
dude.
a lot of
He's like
shittiness.
I
There's a
fucking
lot of
hate him in
shittiness.
that
All the
movie.
dialogue is very bad.
He's very dull.
He's
Yeah.
dull. He's like a crybaby.
Yeah,
Fucking,
he's moody. Yeah,
I hate him.
that's
in that
what.
movie.
I mean, I don't like a lot of the shit they did with Anakin. I don't like.
I
the
like
whole,
it.
A lot of people do, but I don't like the whole you're gonna die in child. Like it's like to me, he's like such a dope. It's like Palpatine just like you could bring it back from the dead, like, and he buys it. Like it's like you're a fucking moron. Like I don't know.
The kid is
Well,
grown up.
remember, he's been so
Brave.
there's a big chunk in between that we missed. That he's been guiding him, and he's been his ear every time he has a problem.
Right. I've never heard that.
Palpatine's.
Like I've never. That's an interesting theory. I've never heard that.
It
never-
so.
Talk about it,
In their
but
conversations, they allude to like that they've been talking. He was like, "Oh, you're still not sleeping right. Oh, this is still." So it kind of alludes that they've been talking and having communications, and that's why in the later movies, the Jedi Council is very concerned about how close their relationship is. That's why they feel comfortable trying to use him as a spy, because they know that the senator has been, getting very close.
It's kind of like Worm Tongue from Lord of the Rings, getting into the ear.
Yeah.
A wise, just statement.
I wouldn't know that.
Yeah. So again, and then you go back to in the later movies where he says that like I planted that, I put that stuff in your head, like I did that, and then you can obviously see that he's like he helps make those more intense and like opens him, like it's not giving him the visions because obviously his mom was taken by raiders, but Palpatine just kind of like opened his mind and made him more susceptible to seeing this and helped with his emotions and stuff. Because he's such a crybaby in that, because he was taken at 9 after he had already lived, these first 9 years full of emotions, full of anger and being a slave and, all this stuff. And then having to be taken away from his mom and go do this stuff. And now he's got all these attitude problems, no real discipline, because most Jedi children are taken very young. And so they're molded at a young age to subdue their emotions, to meditate, to like do all that stuff. And he doesn't know all that. He didn't have all that. So he's like coming into basically a petulant child. And so he kind of grows into that because he's 19? When the second one comes, when the next second one starts, he's like 19, 20 years old, depending on I can't remember if he's 9 or 10 in the first one.
recognize me
2 years later.
Or something.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
yeah, he's been obsessing over this girl. And so in the first one, Padme looks older, but she's only like 14.
Right.
Like she's like the character is supposed to be very young.
Yeah.
She's one of the youngest queens. Yeah. She's like very young.
Come talk about it with us. Yeah.
Special guest coming in.
Is it dad? Is it?
You gotta think about it.
Yeah. I was like, is it your dad?
Yeah, my dad. Special guest, my dad. His headphones.
I wasn't watching it again yesterday. Carlos said it was a lot of moving around.
Yeah, we the 4DX
Yeah.
is what it was. There was a lot of movement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I bet.
movement.
I bet.
They had a so before the show started, they run credits and trailers.
Yeah.
So this one was like a I guess like a scene of it. Is that what you call it? Maybe like
Kind of like a taste test.
A taste test.
Really?
And
Like to like let you know what you're getting in for?
Yeah,
kinda? That's
yeah.
funny.
and then so we're all rocking and rolling,
Uh-huh.
and then this couple came in trying to sit down, and they were like, "Oh no,"
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
got up and left.
So back in the
Before the
day,
movie started.
Before the
you
movie
could
started.
adjust the setting of it, like how intense it was. Can you still do that?
No.
Really?
You can
Wow.
turn the water on and off if you don't want to
Oh,
get spit on by
it's
Jar
crazy.
Jar.
There's
It's
water?
crazy. What?
Smoke,
Smoke.
air,
Oh,
and water. Yeah,
water from the top.
I gotta do this.
yeah, it's pretty. It's crazy. I don't-
It sounds like it's like that Shrek ride at Universal.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like
Band.
Universal
It's-
Studios.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
We had
was
the
almost
stupid little
like
backfire feed or
driving a
whatever.
big ship. Shifting the gears, right? Going back and forth. Yeah. That's what it felt like there for a minute. Then it goes side to side. But
Yeah.
it made it funner to watch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really.
Well, yeah, I could. I
Um,
mean, because I was saying that I have a lot of problems. I just think a lot of it's a boring ass movie. Trade
There-
negotiations
oh.
and
What about
viceroys and just
what about the
politics.
yeah, so when that part came on, the politics part came on, we look over to our left and like the next couple was like they're like sleeping there,
Yeah.
they're holding each other.
I told him
having a
it's like
sleep.
it's a boring ass. This is a lot of this movie's pretty fucking boring.
Dad got up to use the restroom and he found some like glasses on the floor. He's like, "Oh, your glasses. Here you go." And they were just knocked out.
They-
Not even
yeah,
plugged into.
right. Threw them on.
Put them on
Yeah.
their face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that part's needed though. You need to, people want to know more about Star Wars, so I think
Yeah.
that's why they have that in there.
I was gonna bring that up too when you were talking about how stupid, like it's like childish, and then you got all this politics stuff, and I was like, well, that's exactly what I was gonna say is that it's like setting up the reason why all this kicks off, and it also ties to the people that were watching the movies when in the 70s and 80s that are older now, so they got to split. Like it's almost like a hard,
But
definite
that's the
line.
odd
Like,
thing.
Yeah.
They marketed this so much to kids, though.
yeah,
You know,
But they
Got a
still
full
gotta-
new audience.
it's just I don't know. To me, it's just an odd mishmash of childish.
It's
Jar
like
Jar Binks,
almost
and
like-
then boring ass. It's just it's strange.
Yeah. Well, you can see it's a clear look of the vision that Lucas had of what he wanted to do, but then he also had like his sponsors and stuff and the people that gave him the money to do it. They're like, okay, but we're going to do this, this, and this, but he's still trying to get his story across. Like he needs to get his 1, 2, and 3 for 4, 5, 6.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they're like, all right, but if you want this money for the budget to make this movie, we're gonna do all this, promoting and like you said, like the toys and stuff, because that's where you get the money. The kids want it, the parents are gonna buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
money. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do
it.
Yeah.
Gotta get the Viceroy toy out there. You gotta
Yeah.
get
I had all those toys. The pod racing toy, the Legos. We were watching the video with the Legos. I guess the Legos were like the first licensed Legos for like a tie-in.
Oh,
I never
really?
knew, but it makes sense because I
Wow.
had a shitload of Star Wars Legos.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This movie, it's the Phantom Menace. I don't know. I guess I've kind of said I've shot my wad on it.
World building. We get like the underwater city of like Jar Jar.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's cool. Going swimming.
Their little ships that what do they call it? A bantha.
Mm-hmm.
That ship.
Oh,
bongo.
Something about a bongo drum.
Yeah,
What's called
that ship was cool.
Who is the Phantom
Yeah,
Menace?
but like, how did they know where to go when they were down there in the water? I
That's why they brought Jar Jar with them, right? Jar Jar told him. Well, I don't know. Did he even give him directions at
I
all?
don't think so. Did he?
Because he was like,
I think he said
well, he knows
phone.
the way out. He owes me a life debt, and we need him to know how to get out of here.
Yeah, he took him down there.
I don't think he gives him any directions on the way out.
So where were they going? I guess they were going down, and then or something. Is
They
that
were
what-
going through the planet core. They're saying the quickest way to get there is through the planet core.
Oh, yeah.
Through the planet core.
Why didn't they run closer?
Yeah.
Do they like go through? Is that what they do to get to Naboo?
Yeah.
Wait, Naboo's the planet. What's the Theed? I think Theed's the city.
Oh,
that
is
they go to.
the underwater city?
Yeah.
No, Theed's the
No.
Amidala is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Naboo's the planet.
Why did they? Oh, I think Red Letter Media bring that up. Why the fuck did they invade on that side of the planet then? The droids. That makes no fucking sense.
What's
right?
that on?
So okay,
Padme side?
yeah, so no. So you know how they get down there and they launch that like invasion.
Oh, I see what
Why
you're
the hell do they
saying.
start on that side of the planet?
They start off
They
in
have
the
to go all
woods
way-
in the middle of
yeah,
a forest.
yeah. I mean, it's good. The shots of them go through the fields is cool, but at the same time, it's a little silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of scratched my head on that whole.
Yeah,
I guess you don't
that's
wanna
the
get
thing.
artillery
There's a lot
fire.
of like gobbledygook kind of just just not really that great written. I don't know. There's a lot of shit in this movie. It's just like what?
A lot of movie
What?
magic.
A lot of movie magic.
Mhm.
A lot of movie magic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of CG. I mean, you can tell they were really happy or really wanted to show off the new CGI with this movie.
Technology.
We were talking too, like there's some practical stuff in this too. This is like one of the last, well, until the new sequels, there was some practicalness. Like when they blow up the ship in the beginning.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like that ship that drops them off and they blow it up. It's like a miniature getting blown up.
The pod racing arena, I think that's practical.
Yeah.
That was like a little mini set.
Right,
kind of
right.
thing.
It's still miniatures they were doing. Yeah, because that's like all gone like by the third movie, I want to say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we're back on Tatooine in this one. I think it makes an appearance in all of the movies.
Back at Tatooine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only movie they don't go there is, at least back in the original 6, was Empire Strikes Back, I think.
The last one, yeah.
Other than that, they always go to Tatooine. Can't escape Tatooine.
Did they go
Desert
back
Planet.
there in Last Jedi?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Last Jedi.
Is the Last Jedi the one they do in the Redwood Forest?
No,
in
that's Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, no. But we do end on Tatooine.
Rise of Skywalker, I think does.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ray Skywalker.
Ray Skywalker, yeah.
Jabba the Hutt shows up in this one too.
He does. We didn't even talk about. Yeah, and there's a female, I think. Hutt.
Yeah, on
There's
the
a
side.
Jabba
we
the
didn't-
Slut.
Jabba the Slut.
Hey,
Yes.
did they say that she owned Anakin and his mom before what's his name? Wadu Bottom?
Oh yeah, one of the Hutts owned them. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then sold them.
Yeah, I think you're right,
The chick in
yeah.
the back
Yeah.
when they're pod racing, she's
Okay.
like on the back side of them.
Oh, okay. We get female Yoda, Yaddle,
Oh yeah, Yaddle.
which they never did anything with Yaddle.
I think
When
she
was
shows up in the
that?
comic. No, in the
Right.
Clone Wars TV
Clone
show.
Wars. Yeah, she's in Clone Wars.
I always thought it was strange how they never did anything with her in the movies.
You can play as Yaddle in the newest Lego Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yaddle.
Oh, and it's kind of weird. Is Yaddle just speaks perfect
Steven
English?
told me that. He's like, yeah,
Yeah.
Yoda's just an asshole.
Speaks in riddles.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot that really touched the Jedis. A lot of Jedis in this. That's one thing I think Red Letter Media brought up too. I was kind of strange because they all dressed in robes.
All the
And
Jedis.
they kind of pointed out that Obi-Wan dressed in robes in the original movie because the desert.
He was a
guess,
hermit,
kinda
yeah.
Arranged for them to all dress in. I guess that's probably the monk thing they were going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I could pick apart Star Wars all day, but I do really like Star Wars. I'm in an abusive relationship with Star Wars.
We were paying attention to the fact that Padme was a decoy, and so we were kind of trying to see the scenes when she was the queen and when she was just in the
Keira
background.
Knightley is when she's not.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
I think, yeah.
Keira Knightley.
Yeah, it is funny. Like when you go back and you know that's the decoy. When he was like, "The queen trusts my judgment." It's like, motherfucker, I'm the queen. Like, you assume too much. I think she says.
Yeah.
So do you remember the hype around this movie?
No.
You don't remember the hype?
No. I think
Being sarcastic.
no. I think no. We had just had these guys were just turning 5, my kids. So
Yeah.
I was busy with the kids.
Okay.
You know, I don't even remember the hype. These guys have been all saying that they remember all the. I remember
don't
the video
either.
games. I remember the toys and stuff, but
yeah, like
I don't remember
mean,
mobs of
that's-
people.
I do.
Yeah, I
Going to
remember.
the theater.
I remember just seeing it on the news and
Right.
like all
yeah.
news
Well, I don't
coverage of
remember
it. like-
news, but like we watched all that news stuff.
Well, it was like coming back. This is like the first one after the
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
the number 3. I guess.
Oh, I brought up the thing about your friend that dressed as a juggalo, and they assumed he was Darth.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, they's literally in our yearbook for high school. He did his face. He painted it as Darth Maul. His class color was orange, so he did orange and black. But he did Darth Maul, and they
So
called him a
he's actually
juggalo.
Darth Maul?
Or no, it's the other way.
The other way.
No, it was the other way. He did juggalo face paint, and they called him Darth Maul.
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Yeah,
he
that's
did,
what it was.
yeah, he was trying to be a juggalo, and they called him Darth Maul.
Yeah, that's funny. It was like a spirit day or something. Yeah, he did like juggalo face paint, and they're like, "Oh, I'm kidding, Darth Maul."
It's too funny.
It's funny, but I gotta head out. I gotta go.
Like a baby.
do-
Did you get that
Absolutely,
video,
babies
Carlos?
love
The video of us in the seats.
Oh yeah, I gotta try to
Rocking and
put it
rolling.
on. It's not the best video because of the
Tried to
sequence.
film this.
Oh, that's funny.
Shannon, before you go, oh damn it, I wonder what she rated it. Ask her. Yeah, this damn iPhone, it does the steady cam, so it doesn't. It just looks like we're just like gently swaying. But in real life, I'm going like ah.
Oh, boy, yeah, he was really rocking and rolling.
It's crazy.
What part of the movie was that?
Pod racing.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, this is pod racing.
It was a good movie though. I mean, you know, that the 4DX definitely made it better.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. I want to try.
Yeah.
See a movie with that.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I want to try.
Do you think they're gonna do the new Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, they'll
4DX?
probably do it for that. I would
Yeah?
imagine they would do it for that.
You guys want to go
they
watch
had-
that with
they
me?
had the trailer with the Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah.
And as they're
Do they
galloping
do
along,
the 4DX through the trailers too?
Yeah.
Monkeys
Yeah,
spit in your
trailers
face.
were good.
Monkeys, when the monkeys throw shit at each other, they'll get shit thrown at you.
The water splashes you in the
Yes,
face.
yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Shitty water.
Oh my god.
She says 5. Duh.
Oh, 5 out of
Wow,
5.
5 out of 5.
Nice. Very nice.
I wish I could do the same.
So did this come out the same time as The Mummy?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
So,
yeah, it came out the same month.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, it's just like that, right? I mean,
Shannon
those
really loves the
movies
Mummy
were.
movie,
I
too.
like the Mummy. I think the Mummy's a better movie than this movie.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
think Mummy's
What were you
more
saying?
fun.
They
Yeah, I was thinking that I didn't really think that they were both good when I first saw them.
Yeah.
But I saw them again just recently with you guys last week or something.
Right.
I think I like The Mummy 2 better.
Yeah. The Mummy's just so
It was a good
fun.
movie.
It's a
Yeah.
fun ass movie.
Scarier than I remember.
It is pretty freaky.
No, I think
at
it was
times.
scary back then
Yeah.
too.
It was, yeah, as a kid, like I think Amelia and I were talking
That's
about,
fine.
and I think you too, the Beatles and everything.
Yeah, the
going on
Beatles.
with
Getting
the
a new skin.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that guy. Yeah,
That's my
Yeah,
favorite
He
part.
just runs into the wall. Yeah, that guy's something. Yeah, no, the Mummy was really. I'm glad we saw that. That was really fun. I was telling him it's just so awesome seeing it on the big screen.
Yeah.
you were saying that too. I like
Yeah.
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I don't think we saw it in the theater. I don't know.
I think
I
we
don't think I
did.
saw
I think
it.
we made it eventually.
I don't think I saw. I think I told you guys it's like a buddy of ours at the time. We went and saw like the first 5 minutes of the third one, and we went and saw Pineapple. We were waiting for Pineapple Express. We went and just sat in the Mummy for like 5 minutes, and we went and saw Pineapple Express. I think. But
Which
yeah,
Mummy?
never.
Which Mummy?
The third one. The
Oh,
first
okay.
Doom one.
Yeah, the worst one.
Yeah, I've never watched past those 5 minutes. I've just heard
Was that
nothing but
with
bad
Billy
things.
Zane? Is Billy Zane in those ones?
Is he?
He's in
I don't
the
know.
first. He's in the first two, isn't he?
No, I don't think so.
No,
He's not in the first
no,
one.
No, that wasn't Billy Zane.
Wait, who's Billy Zane?
Billy Zane.
He's from
the
Titanic?
he's the asshole boyfriend guy in the Titanic.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't
I
he in
remember
the
him
first
now.
two Mummies?
No,
Maybe he's in the
He's
second
not?
one.
he might pop up in the second one.
Shannon wanted to elaborate a little bit on our score. She said first time watching was a 5 out of 5. Over the years, it dropped down to a 3 out of 5, and then after watching 7, 8, and 9, it was a 5 out of 5 again.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly.
thing. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people reevaluated the prequels after the new ones came out.
hmm
To me, they're the same, but I don't know.
The technology, they're both 25 years old. The Mummy and Phantom Menace, they kind of use the same CGI.
Yeah,
The Mummy Imhotep, he kind of stands out against the background, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
I think a decent amount, like with his face and everything. I thought it still looked pretty good.
You can tell it's CGI,
You can tell
but
CGI,
but
I
it still
think aged
holds up.
for 25 years old. I thought it
I
stood up fairly well.
always heard people talk about how horrible the Scorpion King was.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
that
and that there's
really
actual
graphic. I
video-
remember that being really bad.
There's videos of people that like go
Cleaned it
back
up.
and clean it up
Yeah.
just because of how bad it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why I don't like how George Lucas went, and Sam and I were kind of talking about this in a way. Like, I don't like it. Kind of takes me out of things when people like say like a movies nowadays and they set it in the 70s, but there's a lot of CGI. It kind of takes me out of it.
Like the
Yeah.
special editions of the original trilogy.
That's why I don't like the special editions, because it's
Yeah.
like it's so jarring that this movie that's clearly made in the 1970s has CGI in it. It's like, what is this doing?
It just looks so out of place.
It does. Yeah,
Yeah,
it kind of
doesn't
takes you
belong
out.
there.
It's just, I don't know. It doesn't really work. This, it's totally fine because, it's 1990s.
Mhm.
CGI was,
Yeah, there was
I
times
think-
Jar Jar looked way out of place.
Yeah, in the woods when they first meet. Yeah.
Who was it?
The pod racing guy.
Obi-Wan Kenobi's like looking at something different and talking to Jar Jar.
Right.
Like,
I've heard that was a big problem for the actors, like all these CGI
Yeah.
characters and CGI backgrounds, that they couldn't really like act their, or really convey their emotions because there's nothing there.
They're just
Yeah.
in front of
You
the
know?
screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of just the
Probably-
standard nowadays, though.
Like, yeah.
Well, now they have like that backdrop thing that kind of surrounds the
Yeah.
set where it looks like they're on it, but
Mhm.
it, you know,
It's
it's
kinda looks like
something to sort of interact with. It's
The volume, is that what it's called?
Something like
something. I forgot the name, but they used it for I think Mandalorian and some other stuff.
I think the guy who played Gandalf, Ian
Ian
McKellen.
McKellen, he like broke down on one of the sets
Right.
because of all
yeah.
the green screen.
I think, was it the Hobbit movies or was it the original Lord of the Rings? I think
Maybe
it's
Probably the
Hobbit.
Hobbit movies,
Yeah.
because on
'Cause that
Lord of the
has-
Rings they're on set.
Right. They were in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
to act against, just
Yeah.
green screen.
Yep.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense why the acting in a lot of this is so stilted.
Yeah,
It's just,
Yeah.
they're not. A lot of the time they're probably not actually acting with anything.
yeah.
There's a behind the scenes cut of Natalie Portman when they're in Attack of the Clones and then like the factory, and she's all like saying like, "No, this is a joke. You're not actually having me do this." When she's like ducking like under like one of the machines and shit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's like I can't blame you.
Yeah.
Like if I was told to do that and like in front of like a green screen, do all this silly stuff, I'd be like, "The hell?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?"
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yes. Probably an interesting way to act, but I guess that's what you got to do if you got to set your your series in space. Goofy characters.
Now, I think we've said that it's a messy movie, but I was watching it this time. He manages to split up 3 different
Oh, are you talking
things
about
towards the ending.
I think it's 4. I
Does
was
he?
gonna bring that up.
He's got, oh yeah, you might be right. He has the
Yeah.
Jedis battling, he has the space battle with Anakin,
The Gungans.
and he's also
And then when they're
balancing.
breaking into the palace,
You're right,
there's
Natalie.
4
Damn,
fucking
he's
things
doing
going
4
on.
different things.
It's very ADHD.
Yeah,
It's very- kinda-
I
it's
think it
kinda
kind of works though.
It's kind of like TikTok before TikTok.
Yeah,
But
it kind of works though, because then Anakin, he blows up the ship, which caused the droids to
Yeah.
fall, and then all of a sudden now it's up to Obi-Wan to finally finish it all off. And
I think I don't know, man. I think,
Kill
it's,
Darth
I
Maul.
think it's too much shit going on at the same time. Because that was the thing. So like as each movie went on, I think they tried to, so first movie it's just the Death Star blown up. Second
final
movie,
battle, yeah.
it's Luke fighting Vader with Leia and Chewie and them escaping Cloud City. So there's 2 things going on. Return of the Jedi, Luke's fighting Vader again. The shit on Endor is happening on the planet, and then the space battles.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
And then in this Phantom Menace, it
Comes back with
now we
4.
need 4 things, and they never did that again.
Huh.
I think you might have realized, like, I think I might have gone too far in a few places. Like, it's too much. There's too much shit going on to me.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's 4 things happening at the same time. It's very just all over the place, and I think that it just doesn't flow well.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was
it
gonna
it
say,
keeps
I
the
disagree.
tension up.
Yeah. I think it's
Yeah.
it's a lot going on, and then it ties it together nicely.
Yeah,
little
it somehow
too
all ends
dense
up
for
pretty
me.
good. Too dense.
Our chairs were rocking for at least 15 minutes right there. Nonstop.
Like that. Yeah.
I have an idea. I'll try spinning, and then I went, "Oh fuck!"
You brought that up, and I was like, "Hey," I was so lost. It's like he spin, and then he was like, "Yeah, I remember like when he blows up the shop." I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, when he's flying the thing, he does spin." Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good trick. It works.
yeah, I guess it did.
That's funny. Oh no! Fuck!
Like in the spin.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I gotta try this.
The Scorpion King in the second one is trash. Oh yeah, the
Oh,
CGI.
that's funny. Yes, Jen.
Yeah, it's PS2
You
graphics.
are correct.
Yeah,
It's pretty awful.
it's infamous for that.
Yep. I need to watch that one. I haven't seen the second movie in forever. I remember liking it.
Yeah,
I saw it like a year ago.
Yeah, did you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I need
like
to watch
it.
it again.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, I remember liking it.
Yeah, I haven't seen those in a long time. It's another one of Shannon's favorites. Is the
Yeah.
Mummies.
I really like them. At least the first 2. I remember really. The first one
Yeah,
I
I
can
think-
attest that I still like it.
Didn't the last one with like Jet Li suck or something?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think
Jet Li
I don't
was
think
that-
I've watched it.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I only saw the first 5 minutes of it. And I really don't remember anything about those 5 minutes. I
There
remember
was-
they Rachel Weisz wasn't in it.
Did Rock do a spin-off
Yeah,
for
Yeah.
Scorpion
he did
King?
Scorpion
There's
King
like
movie.
trilogy.
Yeah, there's a bunch. They went to, I think, straight to video after.
Yeah.
But yeah, they made a few Scorpion King movies.
I remember him getting buried, and then they're setting off fire ants to try to get him.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Mm.
Yeah.
And he just dig himself out.
Instead of beetles, there's ants.
Yeah.
Bugs. Still need bugs.
I like this movie. It's good. Action packed. Duel of Fates. The soundtrack
Yeah,
is sick.
It was a very good
Yeah.
piece of music.
Yeah,
No
you should have
doubt.
saw. He was holding the popcorn during the pod race.
Oh,
That
popcorn of
was
lion.
rising.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Fuck, I gotta go do this, dude. This sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get a drink.
Straw hits my eye.
Oh, no.
No.
The wind goes off, blows drink in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
I specifically tried to eat popcorn during the pod racing scene. I was like, I'm gonna see if I can. I was like, "Ooh." Trying to shove it in my mouth. So funny. Yep.
Yeah, then we get up and there's popcorn all over the.
I know.
Is
People
that-
that clean up. I probably hate that.
I mean, it gives them something to do.
Uh,
I don't know. Gotta earn their money. Clean up the popcorn spillage.
Yeah.
But that room is probably notorious for popcorn spillage, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think like Jar Jar Binks, if they would have had Eddie Murphy,
Really?
that would have been the Shrek.
Oh,
right?
I
That
guess
would've
so.
been the
Oh
donkey. That would've been the
shit.
donkey, yeah.
Well, that's a lot of people point
Would have been
out like
better.
they think it's a little racially, like, it's like a kind of like racially insensitive version of a Jamaican person, which they say the same thing about the Viceroys, how they're kind of racially insensitive to Asians, and Watto's like a racially insensitive Jewish person.
Yeah, I guess.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we shouldn't get into that too much, but yeah, I don't know. It is interesting.
I don't know. It was a different time then too.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I
Are
guess
they gonna
that
go
they-
back and cancel it because of that?
Yeah. Well, we should just cancel it for being a shitty
Cancel it.
movie. For me, I would cancel it for just being a shitty movie.
Nah.
But,
How did he design like the coolest looking character, Darth Maul, and then just kill him off
yeah,
in one
I
movie?
know.
That's
That's
crazy.
another problem I always had too. It's
Mm.
like, why'd you kill him off, man? Well, and and I guess everyone knew that was because they brought him back. You know, they brought him back in the shows, and they
that's
brought him
true.
back in the Solo movie, and he's officially not dead. That's the thing, like the Boba Fett effect. You know, like everyone loved him so much they brought him back.
Dies in the Sarlacc pit,
Yeah,
but comes back.
no one really ever wanted them to die, so they brought him back, and I get it. They're awesome fucking characters.
Yeah.
You know,
Well-
great designs.
Did you ever get to see where the bad guys trained at or anything, or what's their rules and
I don't think so. Probably in
Oh, the Sith.
the shows.
kind,
I'm sure
kind of
probably go into that.
philosophy of what they think? Because you see the
Jedi training.
the Jedi's, you
Yeah.
know, whatever their thing is.
I read
Yeah.
the Darth Sidious book where he's training with his master, Darth Plagueis the
Right, I hear
Wise.
that's a good
That's
book.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's kind of like Karate Kid, sweep the leg, or whatever, stuff like that. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Is that
very
what
much,
it's all
yeah,
about?
That dojo. Yeah.
The bad book.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, they got a Vietnam vet teaching them bats.
Yeah. And he's down, crush him.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man, it's too funny.
Slice first and slice hard.
Yes. Yeah, so you would say you recommend people go see this again in the theater if it's still playing?
I like it in the big screen, just like they released number 6 last year or 2 years ago on the big screen. It's a great way to experience these movies. These are big space epics, a lot of lasers, a lot of lightsaber battles. It's fun on the big screen. I gotta give it a 5 out of 5, guys.
Really?
Phantom Menace is good.
You
No,
it's a flawless movie.
you're right. There are a little bit of flaws. I'll change it to a 4.5. Like Dad was saying, the Jar Jar CGI, it is a little iffy here and there. And I think Ian was saying that Natalie Portman's acting is a choice.
Yeah,
They're
it's
just-
a shame because she's a great actress.
Yeah.
she was already. It was known to the public because she did Leon the Professional like 5 years before.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
great in that movie.
Yeah.
and it's just so bizarre. It's just so it's odd.
I wonder if it's kind of like that thing where
It's very
women
just like-
in business, they have to be more masculine, so they put on like a deeper voice to try to
guess.
blend with
They do,
the
but it's
political
it's odd.
figures.
I don't know.
Deepen their
It's
voice.
an odd choice though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, she just have kind of like a she woman.
Viceroy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What's happened?
Yes.
People are dying.
They said they
People are dying.
digitally, they
Because there's a
digitally
blockade. People are dying again. That was another thing too. I never got.
Yeah.
Why are people dying?
Yeah.
Your people are dying.
I didn't see anybody dying.
Your people are dying. This and that.
I think that's what Obi-Wan says. It's an obvious trick. Don't Don't send any transmissions
Yeah.
back. Yeah. But then she's like, "Ooh, I gotta get to my people."
Yeah.
Yeah, but pod racing, space battles, lightsaber battles,
I mean,
it's
we
got
didn't
the whole
even talk about
package.
his badass fucking double-bladed lightsaber. That was the shit.
Yep, had
That's
one of
fucking
those.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yep, had one
Yeah.
of
Darth
those. Again.
Maul, just everything about him so badass.
Yeah. Chris, what do you rate Phantom Menace?
I gotta say, probably a 5 out of 5. It's probably out of all the Star Wars movies, this is the one I've seen the most because I always go, I'm gonna watch all the movies in order, and I watch it, and then I get past like this, maybe halfway through the second one, then I don't finish, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go watch all the movies in order, and I always start. Same with like Marvel movies. I've seen Captain America hella times because I'm always like, I'm gonna watch them all in order.
I guess I just think
Timeline,
yeah. It's
World War
movies,
II,
whatever,
yeah.
And same with this timeline. You
Right,
start
yeah.
off with episode 1,
Right.
but yeah, I'll give it a 5. I don't see anything wrong with the plot. It does everything it needs to, in my opinion.
I tried looking for flaws in it this time. He kind of covers his bases.
Yeah,
he explains it away pretty well.
I think it's. I know where you say it's a kid movie and then it's got the boring politics part. I think it needs that.
The kid part also has a lot of uplifting aspects to it as well, I feel.
Yeah.
Anakin becoming a hero at the end.
Yeah, he's actually really like to go from I know Shannon was talking about it earlier about how he's ripped away from his mother, but as a kid he's like really level-headed, understands the scenario he's being put in.
I don't think
and then by the second one, when he's like butthurt about everything, it's like, well, what happened to that kid? Like,
yeah, well, see, that's the thing. It's like everything
Cold space fucked him up.
everything that Anakin does in this movie, Luke does in the first movie, and it's just it's like you didn't need him to be a kid, you know.
They said he was going to be older, and they purposefully made him younger, right?
And I think that was a shitty choice. I think that he should have been older. I don't want to see him as a 9-year-old. You know, I just I don't know. Like, and then the problem again, like you said, he just grows up to just be, you know, lame.
I really do not like
Just
the second
a
one,
douche,
episode 2, because of him,
It's
Anakin,
like,
in it.
I don't know. It's just and it's so funny when Obi-Wan in the first movie goes, he was a good friend. It's like, what do you mean he was a good friend? You guys bitched and moaned at each other the entire time. How the fuck was he a good friend?
But I really liked him in the third one. I thought his character development was really good in the third one.
Yeah.
But something about that second one, he's just like, I did not like.
No,
him.
it's yeah, I would agree.
The haircuts in the second one.
The
too, were
haircut
pretty crazy.
sucks, dude.
His hair in the second
Yeah,
one,
he's got that.
Him
high
and
fade.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, it is kind of a high fade. Yeah, yeah, good point.
I think we get the best version of Anakin. I'm not talking about Vader, but Anakin in the Ahsoka show. That's my personal opinion.
Or maybe the Clone Wars show I've never seen, but I hear that's good too. I wouldn't doubt it at all. I'm sure it's a lot better than.
Is that Ahsoka Anakin's Padawan? Right? Okay, I haven't seen it, so
He's Patty Whitey.
It's Patty.
I used to have when I was doing body work, I had this Mexican kid that worked with me, and I used to call him my Mexican Padawan because I was teaching him body work. My little Mexican Padawan.
I got this little Mexican kid.
Yeah.
Trying to work on the TV.
He brings it back. It ain't working.
Yeah.
Ian, what do you give it?
I'll probably give it a 2.
Okay.
5. I don't think it's a passing. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie, obviously, but I think it's just too flawed. I think the story is just too convoluted. I think it's just a shitty follow-up to Star Wars. I understand why people are disappointed. You get boring ass, you know, scenes of just people in rooms talking about really uninteresting stuff. And then you get Jar Jar Binks, who's very annoying. I was going to bring this up earlier. South Park made an episode right when this came out, and it's the jack office one. And that was their version of Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Very funny. But
everybody hates him except Cartman.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There are things. I think the reason why I give it a 2 is because I do think, like, again, Droideka, like, it's a lot of great design in this movie. A lot of cool looking, like, again, the Jedi really cool looking. But overall, I don't know. As time gets, time goes further and further, I just feel like this movie's just boring. And
Oh, I was gonna ask you guys too. Who do you think whose fault is it for
being such a bad
no
movie?
for Anakin becoming Darth Vader?
Palpatine.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Because he's the one
fault.
like manipulating him, and
Yeah,
He's
but
the Phantom Menace.
In a way, it's kind of
Do you-
Anakin's fault. Well, that's the thing. That's
do
what I
you-
don't like about the third. It's like he's a dope. He's just like
Do you
again.
think-
It's
you
like
don't think
he's like I've had dreams about Padme dying in childbirth. Well, there's a way to. Bring
Well,
it
you
back.
don't-
And
you-
it's just like he falls for it. It's like, how fucking stupid are you, guy? Like, come on.
you don't think
You would have
it's,
thought his turn to the dark side would have been a little more embellished and kind of, I don't know, a little more elaborate than just like you can bring people back from the dead because you've been having dreams that Padme's going to die in childbirth. It's like it's just kind of a lame turn.
you don't think it's Qui-Gon Jinn's fault? For
I've
forcing him?
heard people say that, and people kind of counteract in the sense that, well, it all worked out in the end because Luke's the one who brought balance to the Force and this and that and the other fucking thing. I don't know.
Or it could
I don't
be
know.
Yoda's fault for
It's really all their
for
fault.
saying-
It's everybody's fault. you
Yeah.
know? It's all their fault. I know. I think Luke says that in the Last Jedi. He's like, the Jedi were useless. They let they let themselves be destroyed while all of it was under their nose. And in a way,
Yeah.
he's right.
Yeah.
They're kind of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
That's another thing that was kind of shitty about all this too. It's like, yeah, the Jedi were kind of made to be like these like awesome kind of like Prius, like they're like the dinosaurs of the in the sense that they just were like this myth that like they were just so cool and everything. And
Like
and
a
the
cult?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like in the prequels, they're just like a creepy cult.
Yeah.
You can't fuck, like that's why the whole Padme thing is a problem. It's just like you kind of made them out to be just like these weird losers.
I like Mormons.
And well, no, they're kind of the opposite because they discourage marriage.
Scientology?
Having kids.
Oh yeah. Scientology.
Either way, they just kind of, I don't know. I have a lot of issues. I have a lot of hangups with these prequel films. I have a lot of hangups with a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm a very
I seen
what would you
something.
call that? I don't know.
I seen something that
Fanboy. I'm such a fanboy.
they give the dead too much power, like a dying man's wish, train the boy. And it's like, no,
Right.
like
Yeah.
you're dead.
Hey, who cares?
Yeah. And then like
Go burn them.
yeah.
I really like burning people in these movies.
Yeah. It's kind of awkward to sit in front of a burning body.
A little bit. Yeah.
They were pretty close too.
They were.
on top.
What's that smell like?
Yeah. It smells very bad. Burning bodies.
Is that the
Burning
Vikings
flesh.
did that? I guess
Yeah, but wouldn't they like put them on a boat and like send them off down the river?
you don't got to smell them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Vader gets burned. Qui-Gon gets burned.
Well, I heard that if they burn the body, that their ashes go up in the space.
Oh,
Midichlorians.
okay.
Go back
That
in
was-
space.
Yeah. What's a
What do you-
midichlorian? Who's a
stupid.
what is a
Stupid.
midichlorian?
That's what they put in the pool to counteract pee.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll bleach your hair.
And if you're mama swimming, I didn't see any pool out there.
Oh, that was another thing.
It's a
They,
midichlorian.
I guess everybody hated the fact that they did midi-chlorians,
I don't
and before it was like a lure of like they didn't
Yeah,
know
it
what the
just makes it-
force
it's just-
was.
It's
Then they brought science to it.
that's the
then-
problem with all these movies. I'm sorry to cut you off, but all these prequel like it kind of counteracts everything they set up in the original movies.
Yeah.
When Obi-Wan
does.
explains to Luke the Force, there is no mention of midichlorians
Yeah.
at all. Wait, you
Yeah.
just forgot?
No,
You know,
so
by the way, also you need a really high midichlorian count if you want to use the Force. It's
So-
fucking, it's just a shitty. I don't know.
that could be
It's
explained
shitty
by
connections.
that could be explained that
That Obi-Wan's
because
just
it-
a geriatric dementia early onset dementia.
well, yeah,
Forgot.
that the
Everyone in the fucking
Bunch of
commercials
mutants.
forgot a bunch of shit.
yeah.
He was a good friend. You bitched at me the entire time, but he was a good friend. Fuck that. I don't know.
That is midichlorians.
Yeah, it's the lore of like when a whole religion dies, like Christianity or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably a lot of stuff that.
Chris, it was 20 years. I think you would have remembered.
Yeah.
It's not like the Bible was rewritten like 3 times in this. The Jedi Bible was revised
Yeah.
this many times for Christ's sake. That's it, and there's so many.
Yeah, that was the first time I caught that this time around watching. I didn't know anything about it.
As a kid, I didn't know what the fuck that meant. I said, midichlorian. What the fuck does that mean?
She didn't.
I didn't
have-
even-
She didn't
Yeah,
have.
that's the
that.
thing too. It's just like again, you make this movie for children, and then you throw that shit. It's just like okay.
So how do you get the midichlorians? Did they go into
I don't
that?
know.
Well, I think that's what
Was she
They're
already
in your
mentioned
blood.
that
Aren't they in your
somebody-
blood? He does a blood test on them, and that's
Yeah.
how he counts the midichlorians.
They did the blood test.
So the mom
They
has
did like
high
STD. Like
midichlorians?
it's
It's like his like
Anakin's
No,
mom?
no, he did.
and that's bullshit.
Anakin.
Did we talk about that while we
The
were on air?
Anakin.
The whole him not having a dad is bullshit
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, him not
Space
having a
Jesus.
dad.
Jesus.
I don't know. That's
Yeah,
fine.
he
That's
didn't
fine
have
with
a dad. He
me.
didn't have a
I
dad.
did.
It's
Yeah.
the hero's
Yeah.
journey. It's
The-
that's
the
what
mom was
Jesus
like,
did.
nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
No.
Maybe
No
that was
husband.
just her being
Yeah.
she's a liar. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just a shitty person.
It was Watu. It was the blue
Watto.
guy. Watto.
Hey, come here to me. Hey, you want to have some fun?
Come on, I want to have some sex.
I'm gonna sell you later on. Yeah, basically.
I was rolling my cube. The lands on red.
Why does it look like blue and red?
Yeah.
It looked like he drew, like he like.
Well,
made,
I guess-
he made that cube.
Yeah, I guess it was a rigged cube, and that's why when he makes a
Right.
move
Yeah.
to blue, he's like, "You cheated," but he
Yeah.
can't tell him like it's a rigged cube.
The thing too, like Jedi, like again, like that's not true. I was gonna say they never did that, but they do that in the original trilogy with the who's the droids you're looking for.
Yeah.
He does kind of fuck with them. Yeah. Anyway, that's a 2 out of 5 for me.
Nice. Christian, what do you give it?
Yeah, probably 2 out of 5 also over here. You had a great trilogy. It started in the 70s and 16 years after that, you come out with this and it's just like, I don't know. I was 4, like I said, when I first saw it, so I liked it immediately. But I got older and I watched again and I was like, yeah, this is really what they got after all that time, after having such a fine trilogy that ended so perfectly. It's like, I don't know. Just, yeah, like Jar Jar and the acting and just writing,
That's the
direction
thing too.
overall.
It's an insane cast. It's an awesome cast, and just there's not a really good performer. Liam
Ray
Neeson.
Park, honestly, is probably the
That's
best
actually a
actor.
good point. And he barely has.
He barely says
I don't
anything.
think he technically speaks because they dubbed his voice. So really,
Oh,
you
really?
don't hear him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. I would agree with that. Ray Park is probably the best actor in this movie. The way he conveys his face,
Mhm.
with all that makeup on. Yeah, I mean, he was fucking the horns and it's fucking horrifying.
When he gets sliced in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falling down. I'll be back with bionic legs.
Yeah.
There's another Team Rocket's blasting off again.
So they had to go get his body then, I guess.
I know.
Way
How
down-
did they
way
explain?
down the
How did
hole.
they explain?
Yeah.
Did he just fall into a pool down there? And
I think it's the same way
was
Luke,
called out?
after Luke gets his hand cut off, he ends
Okay,
up in some
ends
sort
up-
of vent.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those things got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets spider mechanical legs in like a
Right.
dump of some sort.
Dump.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just hanging out in a dump.
Very cool. He went to Watto's dump thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some witches found him.
Yeah.
Really? Witches. Wow.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
witches in Star Wars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
isn't that
kinda
what the
weird.
new the
Animated
new
one?
Animated one.
Well, they show up in Ahsoka.
Oh, do they?
Oh, do they?
They make zombie stormtroopers.
Right. I've always wanted to read that book. Sounds like an awesome book. I forget what it's called, but I've always wanted to read that.
Star Wars. You got wizards, witches.
That's when we were talking about Alien. That's what I was kind of liked about the Alien movies. There's kind of just darker Star Wars, more mean, scary Star Wars to me.
Yeah.
Because it's in space. It's
No,
it's
no
just-
blasting.
no
really.
blasting, but
Which that was just the 45th
right
anniversary
Yeah,
for Alien.
Wow.
Got to talk about that one.
I know. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I love that scene where the guy's eating at the lunch table
Oh, yeah.
after you got out of the sick
Oh,
bay,
yeah.
and all of a sudden he
Scared
has
the
that
shit
freak
out of-
out. And
I couldn't watch that.
Yeah, I just watched it for the first time recently.
Great movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
that person's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it in Spaceballs when
Right.
they're in the cafe.
Yeah.
and it happens.
We should have said that when Donnie was asking for Spaceball quotes last night. Oh no, not again.
Yeah. Check, please.
Check, please. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dad- Oh yeah, go ahead, Christian.
I'm just gonna, 2 out of 5. So
What do you give it, Dad?
I'll give it 3.
3 out of 5.
Yeah, just because the ride.
Yeah.
The ride made
40X
it
was
better.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the pod race.
I
I did like the.
I would like to see it
the-
again in the
the blue
theater.
guy. What's his name?
Wadu.
Watto.
Wadu. I do like his character.
I-
You can see his character in a lot of movies
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, definitely.
And before.
Yeah.
I was kind of saying that guy reminds me of the guy from the Mummy.
Just in alien form. I can see that. Yeah.
yeah, the guy. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Too funny.
I like that. But yeah.
I must preface, I just said I would see it in the theater again. I would like to see it in the theater again, like we were saying, the 35 millimeter. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But just like that, I don't know. Like I said, I saw it enough. I saw it enough in the theater. You know? I don't know.
But then you got to ask yourself, like, why are they all doing that?
Bring back.
Not supposed to get better.
Yeah, well, again, the Mummy. I thought the Mummy held up. I was really like after watching the Mummy again, I was like, fuck yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and I would be down to see Alien. I think it's gone now, but I would have seen that. You know, because that's like one of my favorite movies ever. But Phantom Menace is just like, again, because a lot of these movies, again, like the Mummy I never saw in the theater, Alien never seen in the theater. Like Phantom Menace, I you know, like I said, I'm beating a dead horse, but saw it enough. But if it was something special, like if they got like a 35 millimeter print, like how we saw Gremlins 1 and 2, like I'd go to something like that. But just I don't know, I'm very picky and choosy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you give it? What do you give it? You haven't rated it yet, right?
I give it a
4.5.
5.
Oh, 4.5. Samantha, what do you give it?
The Phantom Menace.
Like a 2.5.
2.5.
To Jar Jar.
It's a 10.
To Anakin. Yippies out of 5.
I think that's how many times he says it. He says it twice.
He says it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
Or when he picks him up and puts him in the pot, he goes, "Whoa!"
Oh, does he? Yeah. Wait, what? Who picks
Qui-Gon
Oh, in the beginning of the
picks
pod
him
or
up,
something?
and when he goes to do the racing, he puts him in.
picks
He picks him up and puts
throws
him,
him off.
and it's so funny. He goes, "Whoa!"
God,
Just
that's
picking
too
him up
funny.
and putting him in.
It's too funny.
Yeah, he wasn't the best actor.
Yeah, and I feel bad because that guy got bullied and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we were talking about that. Him and Jar Jar Binks' actor got really bullied, and that's fucked up. You know, like he's a kid, and the other Ahmed Best. It's like it's not his fault.
That's what
that
they
the character
wanted,
was so
yeah.
shitty. But yeah, it's like that's what you get. That's what you get when you get a kid. You're gonna get kid stuff like that, and that's my problem. Just like, well, then don't have a fucking kid. You know.
And I guess Jar Jar was supposed to talk like that because he was from underwater. Is that why?
I guess, but none of them talk like that. Like they all have like
the fish guy had the slobber, right?
yeah, and then the other one's like, no, Jar Jar, we stepping big through this time. Like they all kind of have like
that was
they all have
weird.
like they all have
That's
different
weird.
accents.
Dude,
Yeah.
And
that was weird.
Boss Nat, he didn't. You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Misa no like that.
Yeah, but they all go Misa.
That's true. They all do go Misa.
Yeah.
Misa. Thank you, Okite. Yeah.
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 Sam, you want to sit down? You want to
Sit
tell them?
down.
A good movie. Revenge of the Fifth, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for talking about Phantom Menace with me, everybody.
Revenge of the Fifth of Vodka or something. You said something like that,
Yeah. For Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Tequila. Next week we'll be reviewing what?
I don't know. What are we gonna-
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Nice Tale. We still got to do Nice Tale and Brokeback Mountain. Double
Yeah.
feature.
You guys
Heath
do a
Ledger.
Tom Cruise
The
movie yet?
Heath Ledger
Have we?
feature.
I don't know if we have done a Tom Cruise movie.
I think I briefly talked about the new Mission.
Oh, we did
Impossible.
do the. We
Yeah,
did
we
do.
talked
We
about
did. Yeah,
Mission
we did do
Impossible.
that. I forgot about
You guys
that.
should
Yeah.
do that Collateral. That one's
That's a
good.
great movie.
Collateral?
Yeah, that's an awesome
With
movie.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, that's like one of my
Oh,
favorite Tom
I
Cruise
like that.
movies.
I never watched it.
I'm trying to think of other Tom Cruise
Is that
movies.
where he's the cab driver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx
that
cab
was
driver.
good. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
seen
a
that in a
good-
long
It's
time,
been
but I
a while
remember
for
that
me.
being really
It's a good
good.
movie.
Is
Yeah.
he in Born Identity? Tom
I
Cruise?
don't think so.
No.
That's what's his
Matt-
name?
Matt
Matt-
Damon.
Or what's the one where they can predict crimes that are about to happen?
Oh, Minority Report.
Minority
That was a
Report
good
is what I'm
movie.
thinking about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that one being good.
That one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's other good Tom Cruise movies I can't think
The
of.
Mummy? No.
The Mummy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Never-
remake.
Never saw that.
Uh,
Never saw it. Heard very bad things.
what about that young Tom Cruise with the
Top Gun.
Jerry
no
Maguire.
Risky
bu-
Business.
before that?
Risky Business.
The Outsiders.
No,
Yeah,
I
Outsiders,
think it
that's
was
right.
before that. He was like on a horse.
On a horse.
Is
Huh.
It's horrible. It's like one of Shannon's favorite movies, and then she walked.
Legend?
Legend.
Really?
I think
You think it's
so.
horrible? I mean, I'm
No.
not crazy about it, but it's
Legend
it's
was
Maybe
good.
it's that one.
Legend was good.
She like
a
looked-
fairy
Legend's
tale.
on- yeah, Legend's an alright
Yeah,
movie.
she went back and
Yeah.
watched it and was like, "Holy shit, this movie sucks."
But
But that was
I
like
don't
her-
mind it. It's
I've never
weird.
seen it.
It's odd. It's odd, but I've never minded
Yeah,
it.
that one's good. Yeah, that kind of a genre is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
The devil in it's really cool.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I saw that and I was like,
Great.
I'm not watching this shit. It's, too
scary.
scary.
Yeah, it's scary
too much
shit.
for me.
Yeah, no, yeah, I really felt the same way as a child.
All right. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. See you next time, everybody.
Well,